So if we could just start with the core team's experience and background in crypto, that'd be great, guys. Thanks.
So hello everyone. I'm very grateful that you have invited us to your AMA. So to start with, let me talk about our background and how the idea of Metapolis came to life. So I am half Estonian and half Malaysian, and I have studied in Taltech University of Estonia, where I have met my two future colleagues, Peter and Darshak. So me and Arshak would study in computer science department, whereas Peter was in business department, and he was focused on digital marketing. So we have gathered our experiences in crypto trading, as I was a trader for 4 years, and I have quite experience in game programming. So we have gathered our experiences, our knowledges in one project and called that Metapolis. So honestly saying, we always wanted to create some cryptocurrency and have our contribution in quickly advancing crypto market. But it wasn't until the flourishing of metaverse that we finally came to conclusion to build, to create our own Binance Smart Chain token. So we didn't want to create some kind of bubble cryptocurrency, but we wanted to create a token which would have its intrinsic value. So upon the rising popularity of the metaverse, we decided to create a P2E game token. So with the concept, we got in, with the concept that has stood the challenges, all the challenges of the time. So basically, in other words, we have brought the concept of famous city building simulator game Megapolis, added new platforms, and added new functions and features, and called it Metapolis, and it's now more suitable for blockchain as a P2E game. So thank you. Now I want Peter to introduce himself, then we can proceed. So thank you.
Sure thing. Thank you, David. Hello, guys, again. Thank you for having us in your platform. It's an honor. I've been following you guys for the past 2 weeks. I've seen the amount of projects you hosted in your group, and I've seen the investors that you have. So it's really a pleasure to be here. Again, thank you for having us. Coming back to our experience, yeah, I myself also started getting involved into crypto starting from the first years of my university. At that time, I was more into trading. Later, when I got my major of digital marketing, I decided that I should work in a field that where the market is booming, in few words, where the most money is involved. So I saw that the crypto is the place. So I've been working in many projects, helping with the marketing. I have my own team. I have gathered data for investors. So there's a lot we've been going through before we came with this wonderful idea of where we decided that we should also put our faces. We should go through the KYC process. So we should basically go through all the possible processes that is possible. I myself I'm actually my ancestors are Russians, but I was born and raised in Estonia, so I consider myself as Estonian. Plus to that, we are here with Arshak today, so you guys can also unmute Arshak Rubenov, and he can introduce himself.
Okay, let me see. If he raises his hand, it'll be easier for me to find.
I think I'm unmuted.
Great.
All right.
Okay. So thank you, David. First of all, it was wonderfully described how we had this vision of Metapolis and how our experiences and challenges of life molded into this concept of Metapolis. It was wonderfully described, and thank you, Peter, for introducing yourself. I would like to introduce myself as well. I'm Arshak, and I'm the one in our team who works with contract, who works with tokenomics, who works with blockchain developers and game developers in order to deliver our game into the metaverse, the Metapolis in the metaverse. And yes, we have hired a Lithuanian game developer group who are also experienced in blockchain development. And right now I'm working with them and they are helping me and our team to bring this Metapolis. So yeah, that's what I can tell for introduction. I will be here. I will be here answering any questions that are of my field. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, we could maybe go into the metaverse. I was looking over the white paper. Players are going to be entrepreneurs and control 10 NPCs, and they'll be breeding inside the game and the poll token to buy more NPCs. So we could go into maybe some of the game mechanics of Metapolis.
Yeah, I think David can tell about the game. If he wants to, I think it's better if he tells it.
Okay, so in order to answer this question, I want to tell about some important features of the game from scratch. So the game starts when the player connects his wallet to our game, and he's spawned in the land of forests, lakes, caves, etc. And imagine it's a abandoned territory where there is nothing else but deserted territory, and you need to build your city there by using 10 non-player characters, which we call NPCs. So these NPCs are the main agents of our game and are used for every in-game task. So using these NPCs, player can gather resources such as iron, wood, stone, etc., and consumables such as fish, apple, and so on to sustain the growth and the welfare of his own tribe of 10 NPCs. Now I want to talk about the fate of these resources. The resources in our game are tradable and exchangeable. So there is 2 marketplaces where people can do tradings. Resources and consumables are exchanged in Polish Stock Exchange, which is one of our marketplaces. The players can sell these resources in Polish Stock Exchange and exchange it with the main currency of our game, poll tokens. Using these 2 marketplaces, players are able to have 5 main ways of earning in our game. So firstly, player can sell his NPCs in Polish Stock Exchange. Secondly, the player can sell his gathered resources and consumables in Polish Stock Exchange. Similarly, player can sell his NFT items in Polish NFT Exchange. Fourthly, the player can charge other players for road or sea communication and the visits and stayovers that may occur in his city. So last but not least, I want to mention the most important part, in my opinion, of our game, that players can establish high-level vital structures, which will earn them passive income. But it's important to emphasize that the structures are not that easy to obtain, because they may require very highly specialized NPCs and rare resources. So in our game, there is a built-in function which automatically means all the structures and NFT items such as structures, real estates, transportation, and land parcels into the NFTs. These ways that I have just described are only in-game methods of earning in our game. So there are major factors which also highly influence on the value of our poll tokens. So firstly, I want to emphasize the role of investors who do not play games but put their money and trust in gaming tokens. So secondly, I want to emphasize the scarcity of NFT items. So every NFT items have limited supply. For instance, 50,000 total. So only 50,000 total supply, which can be minted into NFTs. So due to the scarcity, as our game gains popularity and more NFT items will be minted, so they will appreciate in rate, and everyone who has NFT items will benefit from the appreciating value of these NFTs. So also, I want to tell a little bit about our platforms. So in our game, there is two major platforms. The first one is Cityverse, which is the place when the story begins, the storyline begins, where you grow your town, where you build your town. And so the second is Polis NFT Exchange, which I've mentioned is for the NFT transactions, such as transaction of land parcels, real estate, and transportation. So also, we are looking forward to add a new platform to our game, which will be the central bank of our city. We call it MetaBank Treasury. We want to add this to ensure the smooth functioning of monetary system of our token. So we think it's going to be launched by the end of July. So at the first 10 days, our game will be ready. So after our game's launch, we will launch either the Polish bank, central bank. So I think that's a quite enough talk about our game. But in order to get every detail and every information about our game, it will be better, guys, if you go and read our white paper. So it will take me several hours to introduce our game with every details. So please do read our white paper. And thank you. Now I think I'm ready to answer any.
I would love to add on this note some bits on David's answer, if you won't mind. So basically, just in order for our investors and our future game players to understand how this P2E model works, I want them to imagine analogously to a real life how these resources and how the workforce, how the labor adds money, adds value on a product. So basically, when you get a pencil, the pencil has some value because of the graphite that was used in the pencil and because of the workforce who basically used the machinery in order to make this pencil, and so on and so forth. But yes, what I was saying is that in our game, every value is pegged to resources and consumables. So every consumable and every piece of wood, every piece of iron, every piece of resource basically has some value to it. And that is why when these are made into structures, these are built into, like, let's say, airport, stadium, nuclear power station, I don't know, airport, hotel, and etc. Why these NFTs, when they are minted to the NFTs, why this costs some value? Because they already have some predetermined value to them due to these resources which were used to build them and due to these consumables which were used to feed the labor. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw in the white paper you've got land repertory and transportation repertory, and that will be NFTs, in-game assets. And then I usually ask, like, where are the funds coming from to build the metaverse? But you actually point out in the white paper from the land sales, which is going to be over 6 rounds, 50% will go back to buyback of the POL token, and 50% will go into development and marketing of the metaverse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
And then going back to that Metabank, it's a treasury in the form of a DAO. So will investors have voting rights, and it's going to be a governance token, the Polis token in the future? Yeah.
I think it will be a governance token. I think it will be a governance token, and it will have its own. Oh no, sorry. It will have its own token. So it's gonna have its own currency, like in real world, like this. Central banks have currencies, and they have, I don't know, gold in order to support monetary system, in order to implement any monetary policies that need to be implemented in order to sustain inflation or deflation or whatsoever. And yes, our blockchain developers are really working on this aspect to make sure that as soon as the game is live, the full game is live, which we hope will happen in the July. We can't say any dates for sure, but we are seeing it in the first 2 weeks of July. And once this is done, after that we basically have this central bank which will sustain the ecosystem.
And you've got land sales over 6 rounds, so them NFTs won't be minted randomly. People will actually buy in these rounds for stakes in the land on the metaverse. Yeah.
Not I wouldn't say it's always like that. It's not for all the land NFTs. It's for some of them you have private sale, and some of them can be used like the NFT marketplace, Polis NFT marketplace, to be bought at.
Will you be doing some NFTs where there'll be characters they can play and use in the metaverse?
True. The NFT items are the transportation, like airplanes, trains, I don't know, cars, buses, and so on, in order to transport our NPCs, which are basically the main agents of the game, and boats as well, ships. And as well as this, the NFT items are mainly the structures and the lands. So land and structures are very important to be NFT assets. So every player has the complete ownership, and every NFT has the immutable blockchain identifier behind it.
And you can have breeding inside game, or you can use the poll token to buy more NPCs.
You can use this poll. You can use this. Sorry, you can use the poll, but there is so many polls in our game. So you can use the Polish stock exchange to exchange the NPCs or buy them from another character. So there is lots of transaction happening in the NFT stock exchange and the NFT marketplace, and the Polish stock exchange. Sorry, these are two things. Polish stock exchange is used for non-NFT items, which are like the NPCs and the resources and the and the consumables, and there are the NFT items, which are the transportation, land, and the structures, and respectively, one can be traded and exchanged on Polish stock exchange, and another one in Polish NFT exchange.
And is it free to play, or I take it, well, people will need to buy the token to use it inside the metaverse? Yeah.
So you mean like without any money, can people play, or they need some initial investment? Was it your question?
Yeah, would they need to own any NFTs or have so many tokens to actually go into the metaverse, or
Okay.
is it free to play and then join?
I can tell this to you. Like honestly, David can tell this as well, but I will go on and tell it. So at first, when you are spawned in our metaverse, you have 10 NPCs, and using these NPCs, you get the resources. And only as you connect your wallet, you have to pay for some gas fees, which will occur for why they occur. When for the mining of blocks and so on. So you have to pay these gas fees. They are like very minimal gas fees, and using these resources, you don't have to spend anything in our game in order to gain things. You can spend, but you are not obliged to spend. So you can go on playing like for several hours a day, going digging, getting resources, selling them in the Polish stock exchange, and then buying and then getting more resources, buying land, buying structures, and so on and etc.
Okay, cool. And I saw on the 9th of March you've got a Polis NFT exchange coming as well.
Yes,
Yes,
that's a complete. Okay, David, please go on.
yeah. Oh, yes, our Polis NFT exchange will be ready by 9th of March. So also I want to mention that our alpha version of the game will be ready within the second or third week of April, like mid-April, it will be ready. And also we are looking forward to launch our game by the first week of July. Thank you.
It'll be a P2E game first, and then the metaverse is coming later around July. Yeah.
So the question was if it's a game.
Was it a question? Sorry.
Yeah. Did you say you're having a P2E game first, and then you're building the metaverse in July around? Yeah.
Oh, not really. Metaverse is for completely like in the future. I can't say it's like a very near future. Maybe like in 1-2 years when we have the resources, when we have the technology, and when we have so on and so forth. But in the beginning, our timeline is as follows. So 9th of March we have our NFT marketplace. That's a definite date. And then we are expecting the third, fourth week of April to have the alpha version of the game. And the blockchain developers and the game developers are working very hard right now to stick to these dates. And by July, so that's about July, we are really looking forward to have the full game. So the full game will be very different from alpha version. Alpha version will have a small map, small lands, and like very small territory, whereas the full game will be a proper full blown game.
Yeah. So if we can go into how it's going to work with the land sales for investors if they want to get involved with that, is that coming next month? Land sales over 6 rounds.
They will happen after the partial, after the alpha version is ready by the third or fourth week of April. So it will happen only after that. The private sale for land will only happen. So we are going to have our NFT marketplace. You can buy like the structures and so on, but you can't buy land. You can buy land only after the alpha version of the game is released. You can buy the NFTs from the marketplace, from the NFT exchange, and you can buy it from the private sales.
There are
Great.
no exact rounds. Just to answer your question, there are no like 6 rounds or 7 rounds. We don't know yet. We might host few private sales. We might host a private sale at the beginning after alpha version is launched, or with a discount for our early investors. And then right after that, we can jump to another private sale. But in between, we are also planning. Since I'm working in marketing, just wanted to jump off and mention that, and then I'll leave you guys the floor if there is no specific question to me. We're also thinking of giving away some of these NFTs to some famous YouTubers, influencers, like crypto influencers, just to let them know about our project and ask them to talk about our project, do some kind of Steam, or talk about the project for a while. This is some kind of long-term marketing that we're looking at. And if you guys have any questions about long-term marketing, again, I'll be here to answer them. So yeah. There are no exact rounds. There will be private sales periodically to sell the land after the alpha version is available. But before that, we'll also have some structures as well in the private sales.
If we could go maybe into the tokenomics for investors, I know there's 4% BUSD rewards. What's the buyers and sell tax on the Metapolis?
So, okay, I'll talk about tokenomics. So, as you might know from our website, the tax is 10%, and we ensure that it will never go above 10%. So, out of this 10%, 4% is going to a developer wallet, 2% is going to marketing, and also 4% is going to BUSD rewards. So it was some kind of necessity to choose the 2% of marketing because we want to deliver our vision and idea to whole world. So 4% of the developer wallet is for ensuring that there is no problem with the money that players make playing our game, and our ecosystem is properly controlled. So BUSD rewards, we estimated 4% for another marketing, to doing another marketing aspect. So it will encourage our followers, traders, to hold our token for a long time and benefit from the holding it. So BUSD rewards are distributed automatically when the amount reaches certain threshold, and it's automatically distributed among the investors according to their holdings amount. So thank you. That's it.
Great, and it's a fork of the CertiK audited contract. So will you leave it at that, or will you be having more audits on the Metapolis tokens?
Actually, we're looking forward to obtain a CertiK audit in the future, but it's a fork already itself. But for the comfort of our investors, we definitely will, once we have the resources. CertiK isn't something easy to obtain for now.
That's great.
Things okay about our contract. So I want to say that our contract is now has been audited by Tech Audit, and our contract is fully equipped and has all the necessary functions. But also all of these aside, that our contract has been audited by Tech Audit, Arshak and his team can do the contract themselves, can detect any flaws that may occur in our contract. So, for instance, the anti-dump and anti-bot measures are in place because no single transaction can go above 1%. And within every transactions, there is a minute of cooldown period, which is another term for anti-bot and anti-dump measures. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, if we can go into the marketing, then you're doing AMAs here before launch, and what's planned after launch for the marketing side of the project?
So I'll start, and I'll ask Peter to add something, because Peter is specialized in marketing of our project. So we have been successfully running our ads on PooCoin, which is the main source of traffic for Binance Smart Chain tokens. We also have exclusive spots on CoinHunt, CoinSniper, Bogdats, and so many high traffic token platforms. So in addition to these platforms, we periodically trend on Twitter for very important and popular hashtags. So, and we are being also shielded in famous Telegram groups. So all of these mentioned are almost always live to ensure the continuous traffic of new investors into our ecosystem. So after all, the method just described are very minor marketing measures compared with our vision of marketing future steps. So along with trending on the above platforms, we also booked multiple AMAs hosted by very famous Telegram channels, which will happen during this week of Fair Launch. And I also want to add that our Fair Launch is already live, and it's going to be since the 4th of March, 2:30 p.m. UTC. So also, as soon as we launch, we're looking forward to have an AMA hosted by Travled and and begin promotion of our token by YouTube influencers. So in addition, we have also booked CMC trending spots right after the launch of our token. So anyway, as I mentioned, the method, the aspect just described are some type of niche marketing, but our vision is much larger. So compared with it, it's some kind of niche marketing. So once our NFT marketplace is live on 9th of March, as my colleagues mentioned, we are looking forward to gifting our NFTs, in-game NFTs, to prominent people in crypto world. And as soon as the alpha version of our game will be ready, we also want to hire some YouTube gamers which will live stream our game on YouTube. So all of this aside, the main and aim of our marketing is to partnering with Megapolis developers, and we think the cooperation of each of it will bring fame both to us and Megapolis Megapolis developers. Along with partnering Megapolis, I want to add that we are looking forward to getting listed in centralized exchanges such as Bitmart and Whitebit. And also, I'll ask my colleague Peter to add some aspects of marketing. So thank you.
Definitely, David covered most of the aspects, but I'd love to go ahead and tell you guys that we have gathered our own data from the projects that we're doing. So throughout this whole time, when our fair lunch is live, when we are having 72-hour fair lunch, we are also sending many emails to many investors. Around 5,000 are sent already, and there are many more to be sent. We are also targeting some subreddit Telegram groups, specific groups that have only like real investors and not those bots in the group saying that all of them are my real investors. Again, we are the CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap listing should be coming with the light of speed, but we know that CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap listings do not do much these days, especially these days. So we are not really concentrated on that. We are thinking of getting listed on those decentralized exchanges, which will be hard. However, with the if everything meets our requirements, if everything comes to the calculations, according to the calculations that we've done before starting this project, we should be listed on some famous exchange platforms such as Whitebit and Bitmart. So we're already working on that, and we know that Twitter campaigns are also very important. So there are a lot of hashtags that we're trending currently, and many more will come throughout after the launch as well. Having this said, also we are looking towards the side of doing of having a lot of influencers talking about our project as well. That means that there will be the budget for now, it will not be enough, and that's the reason we decided that we should gift some of our NFTs to some famous people who will, just by having the NFT and seeing the project, the net worth that the project has, the potential that the project is bringing, I'm sure they will happily take the chance and talk about the project. And later, why not, some famous gamers can have a stream of our game on Twitch or somewhere else, and that will bring a lot of popularity. So yes, there is a lot going with our marketing. People are working. There are people working in specific directions, so the team is big as well. If there is anything specific related to the marketing, I believe we covered all the general information. I'm always happy to answer them. Thank you.
Yeah, the marketing sounds great. So yeah, I don't have anything to add on that. That's great for investors. You've got a lot planned, and yeah, some unique features in the marketing looks like there. Over the fair launch on Pink Sale, what's going to be for investors these soft cap, hard cap, and minimum maximum contribution?
We've chosen the fair launch for our token. For the fair launch, we have only the soft cap, which is already reached by us, because our fair launch is live already from 2:30 p.m. UTC. There is no hard cap and no minimum or maximum contribution limits. So so you can buy if you wish, you can buy as much as you want. And I want to mention that our fair lunch is now live on Pink Sale, and you can connect your wallets to Pink Sale and buy them out, poll tokens. So our fair lunch will be live for 72 hours, and by the 4th of March, 3:30 p.m. UTC, our token will be launched on PancakeSwap straight away. So thank you.
Just wanted to add that since we do not have a fair lunch, so the reason we did fair was because, and not a pre-sale, was because first of all, this is a game token. We wanted to much budget as possible to integrate into the game, to inject into the P2E experience, so that people can have as much earnings as much as they can while having fun. Besides, I wanted to that David talked about the platforms that we are having and the platforms that will be established. The last one, if we do not count the central bank, the treasury bank of Cityverse, we can say that most of our platforms will be ready by the second week of July. And right after that, you know that we have 4% going to the development wallet. But while all this money will be spent throughout this whole time until the July on the development of the game, on paying different people, coders, also for our own costs as well. This will be used for the game development. But right after that, when we are done with the whole with the platforms, all this money, developer money, will be injected into the P2E experience as well, along with the ecosystem. And there is no price right now per BNB. How many poll tokens will you get? This will be determined when our fair lunch is done, and we will see the total amount contributed towards the project. We will divide it, and we'll decide the one BNB value. After that, we also had a private sale for 10% discount. We'll airdrop our private sellers tokens with the 10% discount. The liquidity pool will be formed, and right after 74 hours, our token will be not 72 hours from now. It should be around 70 hours, but right after that, our token will be launched.
Great. If you DM me or send it to the shared chat we've got, I can post that in the main chat for investors. I didn't know it was live on Pink Sale at the moment for investors if they want to get involved. Yeah,
perfect.
I'll put that in the main
Thank
chat.
you.
Okay, and I can open it to the rest of the team now. If anyone's got a question for the Metapolis project, go ahead.
Hey Glenn, yeah, I was listening in and it sounds very exciting. Well, I like the game aspect of it a lot, and I just have like a few questions. So I think it's super cool that you're allowing anyone to just jump in, look for resources, build their factories or whatever they're building, and then there's the marketplace where they can trade the resources and everything between each other. I'm wondering, will that all be in your native token, or will you have a separate in-game token that people can then exchange for your native token and sell it on the marketplace if they choose to?
I think if David would allow me, I would love to answer this question because it's something from my sphere, from my experiences, and I am the one working with game developers and the blockchain developers. And I would say for the first, we are definitely going to have everything. We are definitely going to have everything in the native token. It's gonna be in poll tokens, and once the full game is released, it's we want another token in order to sustain the other token, the ecosystem of our game. Similarly and analogously to the XC Infinity, they have the XC token and then they have these SLP tokens. So if you know how that works, it works in a very similar fashion with our game. It will work, not now, but it's definitely in the future.
Okay, yeah, I got it. That seems fair. Like to begin with, you'll just offer people to trade in your native token, and then yeah, in the future, as you build up, you might have like an in-game token as well. That sounds cool. One more thing, I'm wondering if you guys plan something for the game where, I don't know, maybe some token sinks, sort of, where people can only buy certain boosts or packs or something like that with your token, and then those tokens get burned permanently, or any of these kind of mechanics that will keep your token and the in-game token kind of scarce, or make it a deflationary one, whereas if a lot of people just accumulate and sell, it will hold its value.
Yes,
Yeah,
I totally understand. Did you want to answer, Peter?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so thank you for the question. Again, that's a wonderful question. For now, we are not thinking to have any boosting, side things which can be what they call like nuke. So you can't use things like this to boost your gameplay and so on. We want everything in our ecosystem to be organic. And what was about the second part of your question? I think uh, I mentioned before, I don't know if you were here before. So everything in game will be determined by the amount of resources there are in the game. So, for instance, right now, let's say there is 100 BNB in the game. I'm just saying these numbers out of my head, right? So there, every piece of wood maybe costs like point one BNB, or like every fish cost like point one BNB, or like similarly in poll tokens, it will be decided after the fair launch. And yes, everything is pegged to resources, and every structure you build is because it costs something, because in the structure you have these resources and you have these npcs who worked to build these structures, and you feed these npcs using the consumables and using the resources. You finally build this structure. It's very similar to the real world, when you for instance produce I don't know perfume, let's say. You use for the bottle is plastic, it comes from fossil fuels and so on, and there are people who just operate this machinery. And yes, everything is, just to be short, everything is pegged to resources, so any money will in the game will be via resources. Everything will be expressed in resources. If there is no resource, there is no money. And on top of this, I would like to say that the on top of this, I would like to say that, sorry, I'm blinking on this. I'm blinking. Yes, the ecosystem, the 40% locked ecosystem tokens are also there in order to, once we are successful in our project, we can use some bits of it for the ecosystem of the game in order to sustain it, in order to have a smooth life cycle of our, everything. And the rest of the 40% is for the white bit and bitmart. When we list there, they will ask for a, let's say, 5% of our total supply, which needs to go to their wallets. And yes, I hope I answered your questions. I don't know, it was quite a big question. Maybe I missed some parts, I'm not sure.
No, no,
Thank you.
you got it. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So you're doing it in a clever way, where every, like, the amount of resources is pegged to the amount of your value of the token. So that's a pretty good way of doing it. Yeah, sounds good. And then you mentioned, I know, like, the plots of land and things like this will be NFTs, but what about the objects, or the, say, like, somebody builds a factory and then he builds cars, right? Will those items also be NFTs on their own?
Oh, okay. So he can't build a factory and build a car from the factory. He can build the factory, and then using the resources from the factory, factory cannot produce cars directly. So factory either has to produce tires, let's say, either has to. I know it's written car factory in our NFTs. Maybe you have seen it on our website. It says a car factory, right? But the car factory itself produces, let's say, engine, or it produces tires, etc. And then these are again made into, like, minted into car NFT, and so on and so forth.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it sounds nice. Like, people have to have a whole production line to actually get to the real value of, yeah, of the, I don't know, most desirable items there. Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yes, it's quite like that. I mean, we are not going to produce like every bit of it, but like maybe producing car will have some components, like 10, 15 components. It's not gonna be easy. And I think David mentioned this before, and I want to mention this as well. Uh, I want to mention this as well. Sorry again, I'm blinking on this word. Like we had already this our third AMA today. Uh, oh my God, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah. So all the vital structures which basically bring the passive income, which produce income over time, like every week or every 2 weeks or every month, you can go on and click like let's say point one BNB. These are very hard to produce, and you need some rare resources. So there will be like very rare resources. The resources also range from rarity. There are like very common ones like wood, and there are like very rare ones like I don't know. uh I can't tell it on my head, but I don't know, maybe diamonds or like gold. So resources also have quite of a big range in order to have this adventurous component in the game, so nothing can be achieved very easily.
Yeah, I got it. It seems like a very fair way of doing it. It looks nice. And okay, just last one from me, Glenn. This is gonna be. Will you be able to play it on in your browser, or will it be like a PC game and then you're moving to phones, to Android and iOS, or how will it work?
No, it will be a browser game first of all, and I don't know. I hope in the future there will be some chance of having these blockchain games in the Google Play or iOS App Store. I don't know. And once we have this, of course, it will be more convenient and better. But we are planning to have a web version. You can play it on your browser, and I think we are trying to do so it will be also supported on mobile phones, on mobile phone browsers as well.
Well, yeah, I know. Like a lot of these browser games can be played on mobile devices as well, right? If you can go on Google Chrome and connect to sort of these kind of mini games and all that, you could probably do it at a larger scale as well. Yeah, it sounds cool, guys. Yeah, thank you for answering.
Thank you.
It's great. So we can move on to investor questions. I think we've got a few hands up here. Aisha, you had a question for the Metapolis team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay. On your white paper, it's mentioned that different NPCs may specialize in different skills. I want to know that will a single NPC be able to specialize in more than one skill? For example, can NPC specialize in construction and building?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's very interesting. So it's very interesting question. So NPC can have only one specialization. So one NPC can be only a fisher or a miner and so on. And also, I want to mention that every NPC can be higher, be more specialized in this sphere, using the facilities for aiming, which are aimed to higher the level. Then, for instance, there can be a university in your city in which NPCs will go and learn some new functions, some new abilities, and they will level up. They will be leveled up. Thank you for the question. I think I've answered.
Yeah, thank you. One more from me. Okay, on your white papers mentioned that transportation will allow players to have their NPCs travel faster from one city to another. I want to know, once a player reaches a city, will they be able to drive them on roads from one city to another? Or cars will just teleport NPCs from one city to another without the player need of driving the car?
So no, it's just used for teleporting. They are not riding or so on. They're just used for teleport.
Okay.
One
got
more
it.
important
Thank
thing to
Okay,
answer
thank
Aisha's question in details. Basically, we try to add as much interaction in our game as possible. So as much messaging. We want it to be a game where people are not having only fun, but there is some kind of value where people can interact, practice their skills, because they're earning money as well. So they need to learn something from that as well. So we added this, we tried to add, give, let's say, to the players management skills and marketing skills when they play the games. So you'll have, while you teleport, you need, if the land is, let's say, 3 blocks away, 3 lands away from your land that you're traveling to, you need to pass through 3 other lands, and these lands might have owners. And if they have owners, you need to talk to them, and there should be some kind of fee for passing through their land. So all this transportation that you are using, you are not using it just for no reason, or else you could just teleport, right, from one place to another. You're using them because we try to bring it as close to real life as possible. You'll be using this transportation to all the teleport, but you need to pass through these lands to be teleported to the other land. And for that, you need some skills, talking skills, entrepreneurship skills, marketing skills, management skills. I don't know, whatever skills you want to call it. You need that to talk to your neighbor, discuss the fees that he's going to set for you for passing through his land. And there will be alliances throughout the game. And also coming back to the NPCs, our NPCs are all in one direction because there are many NPCs, and you can have a higher breeding rate, you can have more NPCs, and you can bring your each NPC to go to one main direction. That answer your question fully, Aisha?
Yeah, fully. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
And okay, Syed, you had a question for the Metapolis team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. So I was going through your white paper, and it's mentioned that NPC health level can be affected by the wars and the plugs. So I was wondering that will players be owning a city be able to wage war against each other? How will it work out? And can NPC die if they lose all of their health?
I think is it written
Yeah.
in the because we have removed the war part. I think the diseases part maybe was left, but the war part I think we deleted. Did you read our white paper before? Maybe the cache didn't refresh itself. I'm not sure. But no, we are not going to have war part in our game. There is not gonna be war. The only war is gonna be like through alliances, like sanctions you see nowadays, in the world, where you, for instance, do not allow other player to trade through your city, so he can't have trade routes through your city. He can't pass his ships through your city. As if you have seen in our website, there is also land and water land NFT. So in your city, you can have the dog, you can have the ships, you can have all of these channels. It's a very, very adventurous game, honestly. And but about the diseases there are. I can't remember on top of my head because there are lots of aspects. But I guess there are about eight levels of natural disasters, and due to these disasters, as you may know, the NPCs have a breeding rate, and you can also buy NPCs. And due to these disasters, only the NPCs will suffer, and the number of these NPCs might decrease, or their skills might decrease. So yes, there are various things in our game. Thank you.
Actually, I was
Okay.
laughing when you asked this question. In my head, I was saying to myself, we are having enough war right now, of what's happening in the world. I don't think we should have this war factor in our game. It should be a peaceful, nice game.
Yeah, I was
Even the
wondering the same.
is Thanks for the question.
Okay, one more quick question. So it's mentioned about building on the NFT lands. So I was wondering that it's also mentioned on white paper that NFT lands and building are independent from each other. So I was wondering that will players be able to sell these buildings which are built on NFT land separate, like schools or factories, other players?
So yes, we have mentioned that there is a function in our game which automatically means the structure that you have built on already owned lands. It's automatically minted into NFTs. So this means that you can sell it in Polish stock exchange, Polish NFT exchange, and earn some and gain some money. So, but you need to have those structures first for your city. If you want to have an extra one, oh, sorry, I misunderstood some part. So yes, let's start with the beginning. Yes, these structures can be sold in Polis NFT exchange, and as soon as they have been built, they are automatically minted into NFTs, so you can sell them in Polis NFT exchange. Thank you for the question.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I just thought that the core question you were asking, are these land and NFT different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are different. Yes.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much.
One more thing, you need to have a land first if you want to build a structure. So you need to purchase a land, and then when you purchase a structure, then a structure becomes an NFT, and then you can sell it.
Yeah, I understood that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, the pink sale link's in the main chat if any investors want to head over there and invest in the Metapolis token and team. The team seem very professional. Yeah, there's a great metaverse plans they've got here for the project, and the marketing sounds super good. So that's great for our investors. And so there's been people joining in the middle of the AMA. So maybe if we can do a recap, guys, over the Metapolis project for anyone that's missed the first part of the AMA, that'd be great.
Okay, so I think David can go on and tell us about the game again, about how the game works.
Okay. Thank you, Arshak. So, yeah, I can tell about our game in a couple of words. So imagine a world where you are spawned automatically as soon as you connect your wallet to our game, and you are spawned in the land, in abandoned lands, such as lands of forests, caves, I don't know, lakes, and so on. So you at first have 10 NPCs, non-play characters, which we call NPCs. So using these NPCs, player gather resources and consumables, and by gathering these resources, they sell these resources in Poly Stock Exchange, which is one of our marketplaces, and you exchange them for POL tokens, and POL tokens are the main currency in our game. And using these POL tokens, you purchase land, and you then build structures on that already owned lands. Talking about lands, I want to mention that getting a land is some kind of necessity in order to proceed in game at first. So you can purchase land from a Polis NFT exchange, or you can purchase a land from private sales, which will happen periodically. Also, I want to tell about the ways of earning in our game. So using Polis Stock Exchange and Polis NFT Exchange, players have various ways of earning. So they can sell for using Polis Stock Exchange. They can sell their resources, consumables, NPCs there, and using NFT items, they can exchange them in a Polis NFT exchange. So players are able to charge other players for visiting their city and for allowing to pass through their cities. And also, the most interesting part, in my opinion, is that players can establish businesses in factories and earn passive income. But it's important to emphasize that it's not the structures is not that easy to obtain, because they may require level up NPCs and very rare resources. So also, I want to talk about several out game methods of earning. So this there are some factors which highly influence on the value of our poll tokens. So firstly, I want to emphasize the role of investors who do not play games but put their money and trust in gaming tokens. And secondly, I want to say that every important item, such as NFT items, for instance, real estate, land parcels, and transportation, have a limited supply, and everything which has limited supply by becoming popular and and being wanted by more people, they will gain some cost, some price, and they will appreciate in rates. So the players who own these items will benefit from appreciating value of that. So also, I want to talk about our fair launch. Our fair launch is live and is started on 2:30 p.m. UTC and will last for 72 hours. And right after the fair launch, our token will be launched on PancakeSwap straight away. So our token will be launched on 3:30 p.m. UTC on Friday. So also, I want to talk about our platforms. So there are two main platforms in our game. So first one is Cityverse, where the game begins, where people start building their city, where they grow their cities. So it's basically the place where the game is happening. So the second platform is Polis NFT Exchange, which is used for the transaction of NFT items, which I've mentioned. NFT items are the real estates, land parcels, and transportation. So also we are planning to add the third platform to our game, which is the central bank of our game. We call it Metabank Treasury. So we are looking forward to adding this because we want to ensure that there is no problem with the monetary system of our game. So I think it's quite enough talk about our game because it will require on hours for me and you to describe all the details of our game. But I think that it will be better if you go and read our white paper in order to get every detail of our game. So thank you. I think I've done it.
Okay, great. Thanks, David. And we always say, if anyone has any questions after or listening back to the recording, we can get you safely over to the official Metapolis Telegram. If you just ask us for that in the main chat, we can send that to you. And also, do you have the VC? You're going to have that open over the next few days for investors to come in and have a chat with the team.
Sure, there will be many VCs. There will be a lot of AMAs hosted in our group. We are planning to have one for now every day because we are having a lot of external AMAs as well on many other different groups. So, but you guys are always welcome to come to our community. We will always be, I and Arshak will always be there. David is busy with some other organizational stuff, but we will always try to be there to answer your questions. If not, some other core team members are there. The mods are there. We're always happy to answer your questions in the community, but there will be AMAs. Our AMAs are posted in our pinned messages. So you can go scroll up a little bit, go through our pinned messages, find the previous AMAs where you'll find a lot of information as well. But again, we invite you all to our community. The link is there. The boys have posted it already. And thank you guys for doing that as well. Yep, there will be VCs available every day. So just come through, say hi. We'll look forward to hearing from you.
That's great. Yeah, I'll finish the recording and pin that in our chat for our investors and get that spread around the BSC. And looking forward to the pre-sale and a launch coming for Metapolis. Thanks very much for coming, guys. I think we've got spin the wheel now as well.